All right, Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which is the true names of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son in the ancient Hebrew. I also want to give double honors to my teachers, the apostles of Great Millstone, the men whom we believe the Heavenly Father set up to establish His word, who diligently and continue to feed the flock, and to all you Akim out there doing likewise, continuing in that legacy of pushing out this gospel which was passed down by Yahweh Shai. Say Shalom. All right? So I want to get into another quick lesson, which I want to entitle this sitting, What is the Mark of the Beast 666, which is a major prophecy, all right? This lesson is of the utmost importance. Why? Because this is the one prophecy where you can look at, and if anybody actually accept this mark, then you can tell them straight up they're going to be destroyed. This that prophecy that's going to distinguish or separate who the Heavenly Father is going to deliver and who He's going to destroy, so to speak. And this thing is right at the door. To say this thing is around the corner really don't give it no justice, man. Everything is set up. The stage is set for this RFID technology, which is the mark of the beast, to be made mandate. All right? You got immigration, that whole rallying cry of terrorism, and the borders of America being wide open, the weakening of the dollar. So the stage is set for that transition to be made for you people to accept this mark of the beast, which is the RFID technology, which is a tracking device, all right? So they can so-called keep up with the people and tell who is a terrorist and who is an immigrant, who is coming on the soils of America. And also is set up as a currency. That's why when you walk in the store, the people at the counter ask you, do you have the chip? Because they're actually conditioning your mind so it can be a smooth transition for you to accept that technology, man, which is the mark of the beast. And the powers that be, the shadow government, whatever you want to call them, the Illuminati, those who rule the world, all right, the wicked, pursuing to Job 9:24, the earth shall be given into the hand of the wicked, which are these bankers, the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, the Gettys, where they actually deal with order ab chaos, which is a Latin phrase for order through chaos. And the chaos is already set, all right? That whole momentum of terrorism and the dollar weakening, well, that's the stage being set for you to accept this chip, man, all right? And that being made mandate is right at the door. A good example is that when you go back to prohibition, all right, with alcohol being made legal, it wasn't like they had to create the alcohol. The alcohol was already out here. People was already drinking it, you know? So all what was left was them to make it legal. And that's the same with this RFID technology, man. You know? It's not like this is far-fetched. There's millions of people out there who have been implanted with that RFID technology, man. They dogs and they pets. So all that's left is the stroke of the pen and this thing to be made mandate, all right? It's the book of Revelation, chapter 14 and verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. That's right. So this prophecy is right in your face, man. It's people that's actually implanted with the RFID technology in their hand and in their foreheads, man. All right? It's a lot of guys in the military that have that chip. There's a lot of people out here in London, Australia, and even amongst America. I remember in the early 2000s, it was a special on I think it was the Today Show, where it was a family in Florida. Their whole family, was implanted with that chip on live TV, man, in their hands, man. And some is getting it in their foreheads, all right? Because what's going to happen is these devils is trying to really control the masses of the people. And it's going to have your medical records. You're not going to be able to eat or nothing without that chip, which the scriptures tell you you're going to receive it in your forehead and on your hand. Now, this prophecy was this prophecy, this vision by John the Revelator was over 2,000 years ago. So now in these days, you actually got people putting a chip in their hand and in their forehead, which proves the power of these scriptures and the prophecies of the Bible and how accurate they are. And it also debunks that whole idea where a lot of guys got their own personal interpretation or outlook or opinion on what's the mark of the beast. You got guys actually saying the mark of the beast is an embargo or Christianity, all right? Well, the prophecy in itself being fulfilled debunks that, because there's actually people that have this chip the size of a grain of rice in their hand and their forehead, all right? It's the book of Revelation, chapter 13, and verse 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right? Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Yeah, and you see an inkling of that now. All right? When you go and buy something out of the store, the first thing they're asking you, man, do you have the chip, man? They actually speaking that lingo, all right? So this mark of the beast prophecy is major, man, and it's actually coming into play, all right? Verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that understand count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. Yeah, which debunks that whole thing that it's a Satan underground. That's a cunningly devised fable. The scriptures don't tell you that there's a man underground in a spandex suit with a red spandex suit with horns and a pitchfork. This whole idea of the mark of the beast is of man, the so-called white man, in the banking family in particular. All right, it says, and his number is 636. That's right, which goes into Ka stigma, if I'm not mistaken. I had to go back. It's been a while since I actually researched it, but I think that's the phrase for it in the Latin, Ka stigma, which goes into something that's implanted. All right, stigma. When you go into that word stigma, it goes to like stigmata, or a stigma is something that's attached to you. All right, like you might say a woman, she got a stigma for being a whore. Well, that means she got some attached to her, to her reputation. So this whole thing, this thing, it all points to the implantation of the mark of the beast, or the RFID technology, man. And the thing about it, that what makes this a powerful prophecy, this is the one prophecy where you pretty much got no control over it, all right? You don't have no control over if you're going to accept that mark or not, all right? It's only going to be the Heavenly Father to allow certain men to escape that. This is that be-all, end-all prophecy, man. And a lot of you people out there are going to take it. Why? Because you're not familiar of the backlash that come along with it. You just think it's just moving into the next step for mankind, all right? Just like when you go into, let's just say, telephones. It started off as the big phone. You wind it around. You had the big cellular phones and the pay phone, and moved up to the beepers, and, all the way up until now what you have, the smartphones. Even when you go into cash, all right? It started off at dollars. You had food stamps. Then they move it to EBT cards. And this devil, they know how to finesse you, all right? They know, they got that ruling class mentality. Whenever you rule a mass of people, you can't just force nothing on them. You got to actually ease it on them. So just like they, when people was dealing with dollar, with mainly the dollar currency. Well, when the credit cards first came out, people was kind of resisting that. They had their reservations, like, nah, I don't know about this, I don't trust this, until they slowly started to become, a normal thing. And that's the same thing with this RFID technology, man. A lot of people is just going to accept it because it's going to be the next new thing. They're going to use these superstars, Jay-Z, and different people like that to promote that thing, man. and people is going to jump on top of it, all right? They're going to set up more and more false flags to keep you not going to want to tote cash, all right? Which that's already happening. You got people that's pretty much weary about keeping cash on them, all right? So a lot of you people going to take it. And to even go a little further, and a lot of people that actually in this truth going to take it. Because ultimately it's going to be the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, all right? To keep you from not taking that chip, all right? This is Revelation 3:10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. Yeah, which is the time where that chip is going to be made mandate, man. All right? That chip is going to be made mandate, because this is a part of the so-called white man attempt to escape his judgment. He feel if he, if he can get everybody implanted with that chip, then he's going to set himself up as being God. He's going to be able to keep tabs on everybody, you know. He'll be able to track certain people down and actually put a lot of people to death, you know. He'll be able to highlight the undesirables, so to speak. So it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Yeah, so this is going to be a test. That word try mean a test. And a lot of people are going to fail that test miserably, man. But we, being in his truth and who have kept the word of his patience, which means we've suffered and we've put our life on the line to do the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, he's going to reward us in that day by putting that spirit on us not to take that chip, all right? Which is a major prophecy, and it's coming, all right? And when it comes, a lot of you people are going to look at us who scoffed at and thumb your nose up at this notion of what we was teaching. You're going to remember us, man, all right? So, yeah, I hope there was an edifying lesson. I hope there was pretty much a warning, man, all right? That mark of the beast is the RFID chip, all right? We believe this wholeheartedly, without a shadow of a doubt. It's clear and cut, it's you know? So, shalom.